Welcome to a Magic the Gathering video. My name is November Lima, and this is a deck that I've enjoyed for quite some time before Strixhaven came out, and now have adapted to Strixhaven. It's Jeskai Ultimatum, and what Jeskai Ultimatum really wants to do is basically ramp up using some treasures, potentially, and get to like an Inspired Ultimatum. Inspired Ultimatum is an ultimatum that doesn't get a lot of hype, but is actually really quite powerful. The 5 life can be really good against aggro, but the main thing here is dealing 5 damage and drawing 5 cards, which is a huge advantage. Often get to take out a big target or go to the face, whichever you prefer, and drawing 5 cards, especially that part. Drawing 5 cards is a lot and really puts you back on the map against any kind of opponent. So that's really what this deck wants to do. Now we've got some cool new toys from Strixhaven, and that's Magma Opus. So I used to run 4 ultimatums. Now I'm doing 3 and 2, which that math doesn't add up, but I'll explain why. Because Magma Opus is super powerful, but you can also discard it to create a treasure token. So again, it's also a ramp tool. Magma Opus dealing 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets. You get to tap 2 target permanents and create a 4/4 and draw 2 cards. Insane value. So why do I go Jeskai still? Why don't I just jam this in an Izzet deck? Because, again, I do like Inspired Ultimatum, but also because white gives me some additional control features that I really like. So let's just go through the whole deck here. We've got 2 negates, mainly just to protect my stuff. Rip Apart against artifacts and enchantments mainly, or it's just some early removal. Same with the Shatterskull Smashing. Either it's some removal or land drops. Then the 3 mana CMC is, or the 3 CMC stuff in this deck is really stacked. So I got 2 Reidanes, which is especially good against aggro, but also nice against like the Ultimatum decks that like to cast big spells. 4 Skyclave Apparitions to take out pretty much anything that is a threat, because again, 3 CMC, 4 CMC stuff is super powerful in the current standard. 4 Brazen Borrowers, which is just great to buy time and put some pressure on the opponent. 4 Bonecrusher Giants, because if you play a red deck without 4 Bonecrusher Giants, are you really playing a red deck? 3 Prismari Command, which is also a very powerful card that does a lot of different things. I will pretty much always create a treasure token for myself. Then I can take out an artifact, draw 2 cards, or discard 2 cards, or deal 2 damage to any target. Just overall very powerful card. Mythos of Vadrok as a one-off, just a, again, solid removal spell, but also great if I just need to break through my opponent's line of defense. Because if I get to cast it for Jeskai mana, I make those other creatures to where they can't attack or block until my next turn. Behold the Multiverse as card draw. 2 Starnheim Unleashed. This is another one of those MVPs in this deck. If you foretell this and generate a lot of mana, putting a ton of 4/4 white angels on the board really forces your opponent to have 1 turn to answer or die, which is great. Goldspan Dragon, again, this is kind of the bread and butter card in this deck. Generates a ton of treasures and puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. And then the 2 Emeria's Call we haven't covered yet. Again, mainly land drops, but also having 4/4 angels on the board is really nice. From a land standpoint, pretty basic. Got all the Triomes and Pathways, 2 of the Fabled Passages, and 4 basics. The 2 red is mainly because the 2 reds are so vital. It's the main mana in Inspired Ultimatum, Goldspan Dragon, Mythos, Shatterskull. Of course, there are some cards where I need to have double white or double blue, but those are not as vital to the deck. Let's go to the sideboard. First section is just all counter spells, so Disdainful Stroke, Test of Talents, and Mystical Disputes for the control matchups. 2 Kenriths, I'll bring those in against the control matchups too, because they put a bunch of pressure on the opponent. Putting this out when you have 6 mana on the board, so you can haste this right away. Putting a 5/5 haster on the board is very, very strong. If you have a lot of mana on the board and you can put like a Starnheim Unleashed in play with a Kenrith, it's typically game over. Now I'm talking late game. 2 Glass Gaskets for the aggro matchups. 1 Ruined Halo, this is mainly for cycling. Putting this on the board and naming Zenith Flare pretty much puts you in a safe spot against that because they don't tend to have enchantment removal. 2 Rip Aparts, just great against artifacts or enchantments as well. These 2 mainly for the Revel in Silence part against Sultai Ultimatum. And 1 Baneslayer Angel against the aggro or the dragon matchup. So that is the deck. Let's take it for a spin. Alright, we found our opponent. And I would love to play first. That is a horrible hand. That's not great either, but we'll keep. Not going down to 5. Might as well put an island on the board or away. Go ahead and do this. So this is super slow, but it's not the end of the world. If I play aggro, at least I'll be able to put an angel on the board, if not more. That's something you don't see very often. I might actually... Well, let's go ahead and foretell this. I could foretell to Behold the Multiverse so I can cast it next turn, but... I'd like to see what they do here. Are they a Cleric's deck? That is not something you see very often. So now would probably be a good time to foretell this. I have all the mana now, which is really nice. I got double white, got double blue, and next turn I'll have double red. It's not like I'm going to play this anytime soon unless I absolutely have to. Now, I'm going to guess they don't have sweepers, which is really nice for Starnheim Ultimatum. I'm really curious what kind of deck they are. Are they truly a Cleric's deck? Okay. You're going to see the Emeria Skull, which I want to play as a land anyway. Now I wonder, land drop will still be unaffected, I would imagine. Yeah, that's what I figured. But that was a kind of a unnecessary elite spellbinder. I could have put a 4/4 on the board. They can probably remove that pretty easily. I'd rather wait another turn. Right now I'm not under pressure yet. Okay, go ahead. Take 4, go down to 14. What else? Riidane. That's a little bit more annoying. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Like that a lot. I can go ahead and play this for a red. Pop the Goldspan Dragon and let the treasure token shenanigans begin. Go ahead and swing. Figured they wouldn't attack. Or block, I mean. So now, I think I'll wait till their end step to put Riidane back in their hand. Because then I'll have Ultimatum mana. Okay, fine. Down to 8. See what they'll do. I hope they do something. Another elite spellbinder. That's kind of unfortunate. Let's go ahead and do this. Just back in their hand. Auto pay. So the Inspired Ultimatum is probably going to be more expensive now. Shouldn't be that hard of a decision. They have to do the Inspired Ultimatum. So I will be able to play it next turn, if they do not. There we go. If I would have top decked an Ultimatum, that would have been pretty hilarious. So let's go ahead and play this for a red. Yeah, we should just go ahead and keep swinging. Okay. Now, how much mana do I have? I have 1. So let's say 1 for the Starnheim, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should probably wait one more turn, because otherwise I'll only have 3 angels on the board. Which again, 3 angels is pretty disastrous for them, so let's go ahead and do that. X is 3. That makes sense. Yes, or do I just do 2? Oh, let's go and see what happens. They only have odd creatures, so that's kind of... Let's just hope they don't do an extinction event. That would be kind of unfortunate. If they do run extinction event. probably thinking, what card is that? Who runs that in a constructed deck? I do. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a card, I don't even remember what it's called. It was previous rotation. There was a banned ramp deck that used to run a deck where if you had a certain amount of... oh, that's silly. If you had a certain amount of... I think X is 10, then you create like 10 2/2s and 10 4/4 angels. That was fun. Now what you gonna do? Kinda bummed I lost my dragon, otherwise I'd be able to play this next turn. Okay, another Dire Tactics. That's fine. Such a great removal spell, Dire Tactics. Okay, thinking about attacking. I'm not going to block that. I'd rather them create a... or keep a 1/1 on the board than be able to create a 5/5 flyer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I don't want to use this for the Bonecrusher. Ah, that is lovely. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I could pop one. So target a player to gain 5 life. Deal 5 damage to any target. Take you. And I would love to draw 5 cards. That would be wonderful. Okay, we like that. Let's drop this. Look at this hand. Alright, let's swing with one of the angels. Oh, they have vigilance. I should have swung with both. Does it say that? Yeah, with vigilance. Wow. Punted there a little bit. I promise I've played this card many times before. Should have definitely swung with both. That was kind of silly. Okay, so Rip Apart will be able to take out another one of their creatures. And I can play Goldspan Dragon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll have 8 mana available to me. Which is nice. Yeah, you gain your 1 life. I could knock your less. Archfiend's Vessel is kind of a... I mean, this is not a constructed playable card anymore. I would say kudos for their deck choice. I mean, this is pretty cool. Utilizing the Dire Tactics because you have a bunch of humans in your deck, that's pretty clever. I like that. I mean, you have to play something. Why are you not playing your Reidane? Kinda wish I was able to show this off against like an Ultimatum deck or something like that. Now, I could also just Apparition their Reidane, but we're just gonna rip it apart. Rip it. Okay, say bye-bye Reidane. Go ahead and put the dragon on the board. And swing with all. And then before they can do anything, we'll go ahead and take this out. And then they go down to 2 life. Oh, and play my land for turn. Because when? Now we're actually... I don't really see how we're going to lose this. There we go. Off to the sideboard. Let's see. They do have some hate on... I'm going to cut 1. I'll keep those. Mythos of Vadrok is still really good. Reidane seems not so necessary. 2 damage does a lot to their deck. Yeah, let's cut the negates. Put in the caskets. And put in the Rip Aparts. Maybe 1 Baneslayer Angel. Let's do it. Creature matchups. How often does that happen? Not even super aggressive creature matchups. Which I say that now, and now it'll pop off with like a turn 1, 2, 3 combo that'll like throw me for a loop. Which, in all reality, my opponent's probably thinking the same thing, like, what is this guy playing? That's not a meta deck. It is not, my friend, but it's fun. It actually competes really well with the meta. Last season, I ranked up pretty well with this deck. I just stopped playing it to try other stuff. That's typically why I don't rank very high, because I spend way more time building decks than actually playing them. Jeskai Ultimatum is one of those decks that I just absolutely enjoy playing. My previous version had Kenrith in the main deck, which is really powerful. I mean, it won me several games. I just feel like being a little bit more spell-oriented makes a lot of sense now, because there's even more good removal in the format. I just want to ramp to those big spells. Get my Timmy on. Alright. This hand is much, much better than that we had last game. So we'll go ahead and keep. In this case, I might foretell one and play one out, depending on what the board state will look like. Keeping 2 for late game seems kind of pointless. However, with their spot removal, playing one out might be pointless. I don't know. They did not have a turn 1 play, which is nice. Prismari Command is so sweet. So sweet. Okay, what you got? That needs to die swiftly. So that is what we will do. If that gets out of control too fast. And what are you going to play now? Please don't tell me I took all your hope away. Okay, lead Spellbinder. If they are smart, they're going to take out the Prismari Command. Or just concede. No, they shouldn't do that. They should take out the Prismari Command, because that buys them an extra turn. Very good. Good job, opponent. So at this point, I might as well play the Raugrin and foretell one of these guys. Gals, or Valkyries, I guess. 5 mana Prismari Command is significantly worse. Ooh, now there they come in with that aggro. Is it on the Arc Fiend? There we go. Sweet. Oh, that's nice. I can exile it. So I think what I'm going to do first is get a red land. Red. And do I Apparition or do I take out... I think I take out those two. That seems pretty good. Boop. 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 Boop you both. Now we just got this little guy to attack us. Dang. Oh, Skyclave Apparition in that. Ooh, Glass Gasket, I like that too. Then I can do that and foretell. Bye. Foretell. Now if I can get a mana for Goldspan Dragon, I am in good shape. Ouch. Kind of painful. At least I can attack with it, so that's good. Let's go ahead and get the Goldspan Dragon out. Swing with it, because right now I feel pretty good about my life total. Go. Okay. Okay with that. So now I have quite a bit of mana available to me. What am I going to do with it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With 8 lands, I can play this. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can play this and put 2 angels on the board. That seems good. Let's go ahead and take you out first. And then I could also take this out with the Prismari Command, create another treasure token. That way I only lose one treasure token. Or I can play it for 2. Let's just put 2 angels on the board, get some board presence. Presence. Wait. Starnheim Unleashed is such an underrated card in my opinion. Like, if you run a wide deck, you should play Starnheim Unleashed, at least 1 copy. I think now I am going to take it out. Because it is gaining them quite a bit of life, and I'm kind of done with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and swing. Then I have 1, 2... I could put 2 more angels on the board. But I think I'm going to wait, so that I have Prismari Command open, which seems pretty good. Okay. Annoying. Sure. I can still cast it, so that's okay. Oh, these 5 mana Prismari Commands do not feel nearly as good. Not gonna lie. Go ahead and take this guy out. 2, and I'll take a treasure token. Yep, they see it coming. Alright. That was a pretty good game. Again, against Clerics, that was pretty smooth. So we're back at the deck. So granted, my opponent was on a deck that is much more for the fair creature matchups, if you will. That's more of a best of 1 deck. But I think it showed what this deck can do. I was able to pop off one of the big Timmy spells, if you will, which is really cool. And you saw the value of this card. So if you did not believe me before this video, Starnheim Unleashed is awesome. Now granted, Extinction Event and Shadow's Verdict are a pain in the behind for this card, but those are really the only 2 cards that get played a lot that are a true threat to this card. This card is especially great against aggro decks, because putting a bunch of 4/4 bodies on the board makes it very difficult for aggro to get through. I've played this against Mono Red a lot, and Starnheim Unleashed against Mono Red just shuts them down. Anax, sure, it gets big, but I have a lot of ways to put it back in their hand. I have a lot of ways to get rid of artifacts. So Anax with an Embercleave, I'm not even worried about. This deck is sweet. This deck can put a lot of pressure on the opponent. Again, with the Kenriths, really sweet, aggressive deck if you need it to be. I recommend this deck. It's a lot of fun to play. So I'm going to continue playing with this, get some quick games in, and I'll see you at the next video. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe for more content, and also let me know. I had a really cool deck idea last time from somebody. I'm still kind of tinkering on how to go about building Abzan Control. I don't want to get too basic with it. And then also, if you would like to see some historic content, let me know. I'm really going in between standard and historic now. Really getting my feet wet in historic. So if you'd like more historic content, let me know as well, and then I can do some videos on that as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Enjoy your Magic playing.